Hey, what's going on, Canes family? Hope you're all having a great week so far. It's Thursday night. That means we are less than 48 hours away from Miami's noon kickoff versus Pitt on Saturday. Now, I cannot stress how important of a potential bounce back game this is for our program. Obviously, we're coming off that embarrassing loss on national TV to Clemson. And if you're a Miami fan, you know over the past 10, 15 years probably, this has been a huge issue for Miami. Losing a game and not being able to rally the troops and going out there the very next week and whooping our next opponent like we should. This weekend, we have the Pittsburgh Panthers. They're a solid football team. I'm not saying they're a team that we should beat by 3-4 touchdowns, but you know what? You never know. It could be one of those games that it's our week that we play a clean game, limit the penalties, and maybe we win by a couple of touchdowns or more. We'll see. But it wouldn't surprise me if we end up winning a close game. Pittsburgh is a pretty talented team. Now, I'm going to go over some of the stuff that Pittsburgh does well, some of their weaknesses, and some of the keys that I think we need to focus on if we want to win this game and win it convincingly. Like I said, Pittsburgh's a solid defense. They got some NFL guys on their roster, especially on that side of the football. Paris Ford obviously being one that stands out. He's a very talented safety. You got Chase Pine. You got Kalijah Cansey, who really caught my eye at defensive tackle, number 8. He is a redshirt freshman. I went back and I didn't watch the entirety of every Pittsburgh game this year. That would be crazy. But what I did was I went to ACC's YouTube page and watched all those condensed version of the games that are like 25, 30 minutes long. Just binged every single one this afternoon. And Kalijah Cansey really caught my eye. He's a defensive tackle, young kid, redshirt freshman, and he was making every play that came his way. And he's not even a big guy. I think he's listed as 6 foot 269. Not a big guy at all, but man, he makes plays. He's one of those just athletic guys on the line that you come his way, he'll break through and make that TFL. So watch out for that guy. We're going to need to control him. Another guy on offense is Jordan Addison, probably their more go-to receiver that they have. They have a couple of talented receivers, but that's probably their Kenny Pickett's go-to guy. Another guy I want to address, of course, Kenny Pickett, the quarterback. If you remember, back in 2017, that heartbreaking loss up in Pittsburgh, we were going in 10-0. We were just supposed to kind of take care of business on Thanksgiving weekend and just, coast into the ACC championship game undefeated. We did not. We slipped up, and a big reason why was because Kenny Pickett, true freshman at the time, just came in and made plays. Granted, a bigger reason we didn't win is because we just couldn't freaking score on offense, but that kid, I got to give him credit. He made enough plays to win that game against us. So we now have a chance to face him as a senior. Now, I should mention, there are rumblings that he may not play on Saturday. He did tweak his ankle earlier in the year. It has been an issue. There is a growing concern that he may not even be able to play. Right now, he is listed as questionable. That's one of the reasons that if you look at the betting lines right now, it's hovered between 13 and 14 points in the last day or so. That could be why. They don't know if Kenny Pickett's going to be ready to play, but let's just assume he is. Solid quarterback, can make plays with his feet, 6'2", 220 pounds. He's a tough kid to bring down. You got to keep him contained because he's the type of guy that's very athletic and can make plays on the run, especially along the sidelines. He loves rolling out and throwing it up for grabs for his playmakers. Great at keeping a play alive. Basically, our D-line's got to come ready to not just get after him, but keep him contained. We got to maintain that discipline, which is something we were able to show a little bit against Clemson, but a lot of times that broke down. We got to do better. So those are some of the things they do well. Some of the weaknesses they have, I noticed on their defense, they're kind of a live by the blitz, die by the blitz kind of defense. A lot like Miami was back in 2016, 2017, when Manny Diaz first arrived here as a defensive coordinator. You can send all these blitzes and exotic blitzes our way. Some of them might work, but we might gash you for a big play. All right, so that's somewhere where they're vulnerable, especially in the flats. I notice a lot of missed tackles in that area, and I notice whenever one of their blitzes gets picked up, they're vulnerable over the top. So our receivers, this week more than any week, are going to have to step up and make a play. Somebody's got to make a play because they're going to be there. If we pick up a blitz, somebody's going to be open downfield. All right. So those are some of their weaknesses. Also, offensive line. Their offensive line is not great. They do not have any discernible running game that really concerns me. I think the running backs are talented, but they just don't seem to have any room to run ever. They get occasional big running plays from their Wildcat formation, but really they do not run the ball well. I think they had like 40 yards combined rushing from their running backs against Boston College last week. So it all falls on Kenny Pickett. And another stat I should mention, Kenny Pickett starting with the game against Austin Peay, which was their opener that they won 55-0. Of course, Kenny Pickett has 70% completion percentage. That you're going to come to expect that against that opponent. But the very next week, their first Division I opponent, 69.4% completion. The next week, 60.5% completion percentage. The next week, 56.4% completion percentage. Last week against BC, 51.1% completion percentage. So it has gone down steadily every week. What does that tell me? I think that tells me two things. That ankle is bothering them. I think it's making a difference. Number two, I think defenses are figuring out how to play Kenny Pickett. And I hope Blake Baker, Manny Diaz, they have a good game plan for him. So those are some of the weaknesses and strengths that they have. Now, here's some of the keys to the game that we are going to need to focus on. Key number one, I say this in caps, no penalties. Okay? Play the cleanest game possible. Now, obviously, zero penalties are impossible, but when I say no penalties, I mean no dumb penalties. No pre-snap mental errors, no bonehead targeting calls. That needs to stop, and that needs to stop immediately. I don't know what this coaching staff has to do to erase those issues, but they need to do it. Week one, they had 3 penalties for 30 yards. And every week it's gotten a little worse. I don't know if the other team being a little chirpy gets in their heads and they get a little too, a little over aggressive. That needs to stop. A lot of upperclassmen on this Miami team. They should be better than that. So no dumb penalties. If you get called for holding here and there because you're just playing hard, I can live with that. But targeting, false start, illegal formation, offsides, these are mental errors. Mental errors that need to stop. And if those errors are going to be there against any good team this year, you're probably not going to win. You're not going to win those close games. Okay, that 9-2 prediction that I had early in the year, that's going out the window if we don't clean up the penalties and clean them up quick. So that's number one. Penalties, keep that at a minimum. Number two, blitz pickup on offense. Our offensive line, our backs, our tight ends, blitz pickup is going to be paramount in this game. Because like I said, they live by the blitz and die by the blitz. We need to pick up that blitz. If we can pick up that blitz and, maybe get that short passing game going, little bubble screen here and there, quick slants, quick curl routes, get De'Ara King into a rhythm early, get him comfortable, it's going to be a long day for Pittsburgh, and it's going to be a fun day for us. So that's 2, blitz pickup. Number 3 is cashing in on those opportunities. This goes hand in hand with the blitz pickup now. Those opportunities on offense are going to be there. Like I said, guys are going to get open. D. Wiggins, Mallory, Mike Harley, whoever's out there. They like to play that tight man coverage on us, daring us to throw the ball. They're a solid defense, but they're not Clemson. They're not going to be breathing down De'Ara King's throat the second he catches, he hikes the ball. Those plays are going to be there. Can our blitz pick up, protect De'Ara King, give him that extra second so he can step into his throw? Let's see. If he can, we're going to hit a couple bombs. So that's number 3, cashing in on those big play opportunities. And number 4, keeping Kenny Pickett contained. Now, again, this is assuming he plays. Keep him contained. I am not concerned about their running game. I think we'll stop that, no problem, for the most part. But keeping Kenny Pickett contained, making him move around on that bad ankle, make him throw it into traffic, because he does have a propensity to throw it into coverage from time to time. He's got a lot of confidence in his arm, rightfully so. It's a strong arm, but he does throw it into traffic from time to time, especially over the middle of the field. All right? That's where our safeties, our corners, our secondary play is going to be huge in this game as well. All right, so that's pretty much it. If we focus on those things, play a clean game, cash in on our opportunities, no drops, No big mistakes. I honestly don't see this game being closer than a couple of touchdowns. All right. Now, realistically, do I think we're going to play that clean of a game? Maybe not this week, but I really hope it's getting addressed to the point that we're not going to go out there and commit 15 penalties for 150 yards. Maybe we lower it to 60 or 70 yards. You know what? I'll take that. Because I think if we do that, we'll be all right for this game. But it has to be continuously improved every week. All right? I know this is a little bit of a longer video than usual, but I appreciate the time. By the way, I appreciate the views on my last video. I think it went over 2,000. Really, really flattered. Thank you so much, guys. If you can like the video, go through my library, like the other videos. It helps with the exposure. Share it. Subscribe to my channel. I'm going to have more of these coming. I'm going to do one very likely, maybe not the day of the Pittsburgh game, but usually the morning after. I'm available to drop a quick video, give you my reactions. And thanks again. Hope you all have a good night, and go Canes. It's all about the U.